Good morning, all. Mr. G here with your weather forecast, and this is Elite Weather, and we're going to be talking about that forecast for your Halloween, as well as we're going to take a look at some features that could be taking place in our weather within the next couple of weeks. We got some severe weather that's going to be occurring, as well as the potential for a pretty significant snowstorm in about the middle of the month or so, but we're going to be taking a look at those things as well. But right now, let's jump into our weather today and talk about some current conditions across America right now. And as we get started, here's our current radar. We see those showers and rain here through the Midwest, into the eastern Great Lakes, as well as into the mid-Atlantic and portions of the southeast down to about the Gulf Coast there. We have this frontal boundary and a pretty substantial area of low pressure. Quite a bit of rainfall taking place right now. But we're not really seeing any severe weather, but we are seeing some areas where we could see some flash flooding and some urban and small stream flooding and some river flooding as well. As a little bit of rainfall is taking place, and some of it could be a bit on the substantial side to a bit excessive. So a lot of rain through portions of especially right in here through the Carolinas. We're going to be seeing quite a bit of rainfall today and through portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes here. And that could lead to a couple of inches in some places. That could lead to some flooding concerns. And then over on the West Coast, we have this storm in the Pacific Northwest, a pretty potent system there, primarily moving into British Columbia. Now this has a tropical fetch to it, extends all the way about to the Hawaiian Islands, the Pineapple Express, we call that guy there. So a very strong jet stream out on the West Coast in the Pacific Northwest, bringing some much needed rainfall for Oregon and Washington and into portions of Idaho and northwestern Montana as well. Now as we take a look at our current surface map, here is that cold front out on the West Coast with that rainfall there. And then here is our storm system in the Midwest. We have this cold front here and this area of low pressure that's going to be spreading those showers in this region. And that's going to be headed off toward the northeast. Eventually will overtake the northeast and New England states. But tonight you might make it through the evening hours and the trick-or-treating hours without any rainfall before that moisture starts to affect your weather on your Tuesday out there. So enjoy yourself this evening in the Northeast. You should be safe from any rainfall into about the midnight hour. Most of that rain won't move in until after midnight. Alright, here we are with your forecast for today as far as the surface features is concerned. Here we are with that rain through the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Mid-Atlantic states and down into the southeastern U.S. though. So we're going to be seeing that rain down in Atlanta through South Carolina, Charlotte as well, in North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, western Pennsylvania. So Pittsburgh is going to see some of those showers, as well as Cleveland in Ohio, Indianapolis today, Chicago will be seeing some of those rain showers, as well as St. Louis can be seeing some of those rain showers today as well. So here we are, and then we have that storm system out west. In the morning hours, we're going to be seeing that rain through Portland, Seattle, and Tacoma, as well as in Spokane, Washington. And tonight, that rain shower moves a little bit to the east. It's mostly going to be going off toward the northeast for the most part right now before coming over the top of the ridge of high pressure out west. And that is going to drop down into the Great Lakes areas later in the week. But right now, we're going to be seeing that rainfall there in the Pacific Northwest and some snow in the Cascades and the northern Rockies in British Columbia there. All right, so here we are to talk about our severe weather, and this is going to be for today. Our severe weather alerts right now, we do have some flood potential in this region and fog as well. So we're seeing a lot of fog because there's a lot of humidity in the air, and those temperatures are right about in par with those dew points. So we have a lot of fog advisories in place through portions of the deep south here near Florida and here across the Great Lakes area in the Midwest. Out west, we have some winter storm activity going on. We're seeing winter weather advisories there through Oregon and Washington, as well as in Northern California, in the Sierra Nevada, and in Utah there near the Wasatch Mountain Range. We're seeing a winter weather advisory where you can see some snow in the higher elevations, but down in the lower elevations, we're seeing wind advisories and high wind warnings as well through the mountains there and across the Great Basin of Nevada. We have a wind advisory in place for that region today. And then tonight, here's where we're going to be seeing those thunderstorms today. No severe weather expected this afternoon and evening, but we will see some showers and storms down there across the Rio Grande Valley, south of San Antonio as well. Some of those rain showers this afternoon and evening, and more rain showers here through the mid-Atlantic and the southeast and down in southeastern Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and the Palm Beaches. Could see an afternoon shower or thunderstorm as well. And here we are as we take a look at our extended forecast where we talk about that big storm that's going to be coming up, and this is going to be about the 6th and the 7th of November. So about a week from today, we're going to be dealing with this storm here that's going to be spreading some severe weather in through down from Texas all the way into the Midwest there through Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas as well. We're going to be seeing some of that severe weather affect Wisconsin and Indiana and Ohio over in about a week from today. So that's going to be a very potent storm that we're going to be dealing with as well. And then here we are as we take a look at that surface analysis of that, and this is going to be there for the 6th. We're going to be seeing that potential for severe weather down here in Texas, and some of that severe weather can be moving through the Midwest, through Missouri, and into Iowa as well. So we're going to be watching for this to develop further next week. So we're going to be looking for that to really cause some problems down there across the plain states next week. And here we are as we look at this evolve into the Midwest. We can see that frontal boundary starts to really spread some of that severe weather through Illinois, Missouri, and Iowa. So that's going to be, and eventually this is going to move off towards Michigan and into southern Canada there. So we're going to be dealing with some severe weather for a few days with this system next week. And we're going to watch for this because this could be the potential for some tornadoes as well. So I'm talking about this now because this could be a pretty significant weather event that's going to be followed on its heels by a significant snow event, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then here we are as we look at the 8th, and this guy is moving on off towards the Great Lakes area. We're going to be seeing that through Michigan, through Indiana and Kentucky and Tennessee, with more of that severe weather and potential for some tornadoes. So definitely going to see damaging winds and hail and possibly even tornadic activity with this weather system. And here we are as we take a look at the upper air pattern with that storm, and look at that pretty big storm there. That is a pretty big storm taking place there, and we're going to be seeing that guy on the 6th of November there. Look at that. Down here in Texas, look at that area of low pressure down there. A very strong storm system. Look how tight those isobars are. A lot of energy with that storm. So we're going to definitely be seeing the potential for that severe weather taking place down there. And then as that storm moves on over toward the mid-Atlantic and the Great Lakes on the 7th, this is going to be the 7th of November. So about a week from now, we're going to be seeing that storm take on a little bit of a negative tilt as it moves across the Great Lakes and into southeastern Canada. So certainly a situation that will need to be monitored in subsequent model runs and to see if there's some model consistency with this scenario that's being depicted right now in the forecast guidance. So we're going to monitor this situation and update it as necessary. All right, here is our winter weather Back in 1991 in Halloween, Minnesota suffered one of the biggest blizzards in the history of our nation, where about 36 inches of snow fell over portions of Minnesota, especially there in northern Minnesota, Duluth. As you can see on this map here, these regions here near Superior have picked up about 35 to 36 inches of snow. The Halloween blizzard of 1991. Big news here. Many of the folks here will tell you about it. They'll be happy to tell you about it if you just ask. If you ever visit Minnesota, they're going to tell you all about the 91 blizzard there. Halloween, it started off as rain, moved in about the 30th or so, and the 31st was when it started. And it started off as rain, then it changed over to snow, and we picked up about 24 inches of snow across the Twin Cities area, but we did see quite a substantial amount of snow, and this was a record snowfall until 1994 when a storm in Baxter dropped 46.5 inches of snow. So it held on for about 3 years as a record. Minnesota is certainly no stranger to significant snowfalls. And here are some of the snowfall totals that we saw across the state. You can see Duluth led the way with 36 inches of snow there. I'm tripping over cables on the floor. 36 inches of snow there in Duluth, Minnesota. So pretty substantial amounts, all the way down to about 7 inches or so in some of the parts of the state. Here's all the higher snow totals from that storm system. All right, here we go as we talk about the upper air pattern coming up here, and this is going to be that storm that's going to be taking place there. And as you can see, as that storm moves across about the 11th through the 16th, so about 5 to 6 days, that guy's going to be moving through there, and it's going to take on a negative tilt. Now, the models are also trying to indicate a tropical system developing down across the southeast at the same time. That potential, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that and monitor both situations. So the potential of a tropical system down here across the southeast and our big snowstorm that could be developing as well, that's going to take on a negative tilt about the 14th. Negative tilting indicates in the intensification that is getting stronger. So here we are to talk about that snow potential. Boy, look at all of this. This is that snow. This is between the 11th and the 14th, where we can see some significant snow through Minnesota and Missouri especially. We can see some snow there. Look at those dark colors right there. This is in excess of 6 inches or more. So we can see a few inches of snow in the upper Midwest and the Midwest here as we get about the mid-month or so. So definitely going to keep an eye on that situation as well, as we have the potential there to see some early snow across the Midwest here and the Plain States. Here we are with your tropical outlook. We do have one tropical system to talk about down across the tropics right now in the Caribbean. We have this potential tropical cyclone 15, potential tropical depression there, and this is the track it's going to be taking as it head towards Belize and Central America. And you can see that guy out there, and it's going to move over towards it's going to stay down toward the Central America, not going to be a threat to the United States in any way, shape, or form. But if you do have interest down in Central America, if you're cruising across the Southern Caribbean, you might want to monitor this situation with your travel plans, because that will be making an impact here over the next week or so. Now here we are with our any watches and warnings. We do have tropical storm watches here in place across Jamaica, Kingston, as well as the Grand Cayman Islands. We have tropical storm watch in place right now. And here we are with our satellite looking at this guy. We can see there, you see that low-level circulation right here. You do see that low-level circulation, but the other thing is that we have these thunderstorms off to the east and southeast here. That's indicative of shear, and this guy is having a little bit of a struggle to get that moisture to come all the way around to where you can see a nice circular pattern in that convection. So we're seeing all that convection get blown off to the southeast and to the east of the main center of circulation. So that indicates that it is struggling a bit, but you do see a well-defined low-level circulation down right in this region. So we do have that going for us, that low-level circulation pattern there. So that is indicative of a low-level area of low pressure. So we're going to have to monitor that and watch for that development, as it has that potential and more than likely will become our next tropical storm that we're going to be talking about here. And that will be called Laura once that guy fully gets his designation as a tropical storm. All right, here's your long-awaited Halloween weather forecast for today and the first few days of your work week as you go back to school and work. And here we are as we talk about your Halloween forecast, your day-to-day. And across the Americas, we're going to see a lot of those temperatures in the 60s. A pretty nice day as far as the temperatures are concerned. We will see some rain showers across Chicago. You're going to see some rain showers in Cleveland today, as well as in Buffalo. So we're going to be seeing rain showers across this region and the potential of rain showers up in Sault Ste. Marie. So we have Detroit going to be seeing that rain showers as well. Rain showers down there in St. Louis, as well as cloudy skies in Kansas City today. But we're going to be seeing that rain showers here through this portion of the Midwest and the Atlantic, and the Mid-Atlantic, as well as the Appalachian Mountain Range. Right here, going to be seeing some rain showers today, but dry in the Northeast, temperatures in the mid-60s, and dry across the Southeast with those temperatures in the mid-60s to 70s along the Gulf Coast and 80s across the state of Florida. It's going to be almost 90 across the Tampa area. And then out on the West Coast, we're going to be seeing those 80s down in Arizona and Southern California, but we're going to fall off to the mid-50s in the Pacific Northwest with that rainfall in place for your day today. All right, tonight, more rain going to continue in the Pacific Northwest and going to get all the way down to San Francisco and Northern California. We're going to be potentially seeing some rainfall tonight, and then also cloudy skies in LA with temperatures in the mid-50s, as well as in Phoenix. That cold weather, typical for this time of year across the Rockies, very seasonal weather conditions across the Rocky Mountains. And then down in Texas, a pretty warm evening in store for many of you folks, as we're going to be near 60 for overnight lows, 62 for your low down in Houston, 62 in New Orleans as well, 64 down there in Jacksonville. But you're going to be in the 70s down across Tampa, down to the Miami area, so 70s across South Florida for overnight low temperatures. And as you go up the eastern seaboard, those lows are going to drop into the 50s overnight, all the way up into Maine. You're going to be seeing those temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. But across the northern plains, we will see that 40 in Minneapolis and that 45 for you folks there in Chicago. So we're going to be seeing drying conditions across Illinois and Missouri and Michigan as well. We're going to start to see those showers move out later tonight in the overnight hours. So please dress the kiddos accordingly for the weather for your area. So if you're in the mid-Atlantic states and through portions of that tonight is where you might be dealing with some rainfall, and as well in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to be dealing with some rainfall tonight, Seattle and in Portland. So remember to dress accordingly. But the good news is it's not going to be that cold nationwide. We're not going to be really having too many issues with excessive cold. A little bit of cold in the far northern plains, Minot, Duluth, International Falls. You're going to be in those 30s overnight tonight, so you might want to bundle up a little bit as you get ready to head on out for your trick-or-treating or holiday or Halloween party activities tonight. Tomorrow, as you head back to work and school, a normal day, no more Halloween, but we're going to be seeing it warm up across the nation's midsection. Look at these 70s through the central northern plains, all the way up to Minot, through Rapid City, all the way down through Kansas City, Oklahoma City, through Texas. But along the Gulf Coast, we might see some rain showers there. Houston, you see it 67 gets a little bit cooler because we're going to have a weather system down here along the Gulf Coast that could be spreading some rain there for Houston as well as San Antonio, as those temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s to lower 70s. So we're going to be seeing a nice warming trend through the middle of the nation. Temperatures in the 60s in the Northeast and the Great Lakes area, but those 80s down there in South Florida. And then in the Pacific Northwest, more rain for you. That rain actually gets heavier tomorrow, and we're going to see temperatures go down a little bit from the 50s into the upper 40s for your highs tomorrow, as you have a bit more rainfall, a more rainy day, so it's going to be a bit cooler out there. And we're going to be seeing still some more showers down to San Francisco. Temperatures in the mid-50s, partly to mostly cloudy down in Southern California, with your temperatures near 70 degrees down across the Southwest. And then tomorrow night, again, start maybe a rain shower all the way down to Southern California. Might pick up a rain shower now as our western storm starts to slide down the coast here. So rain showers possible in LA and San Diego, and there's still more rain showers in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Medford, Portland, Spokane. You guys are going to continue to see rain showers. Rain showers are now spreading into Montana tomorrow night and Boise. So in Boise, you can see some rain and temperatures in the lower to mid 30s. Maybe even some snow showers down to Boise and in Montana tomorrow night. Dry across the Midwest and dry in the Northeast. And our storm system has finally made its way on out of the area, so we're going to be seeing it dry weather across the eastern half of the nation and pretty comfortable temperatures in the 60s and 70s down along the Gulf Coast and the Deep South. But we're going to be seeing those 40s and 50s in the Great Lakes and 50s in the Northeast tomorrow night. And finally, for a day on Wednesday, that wet weather will continue once again in the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures will be in the mid-40s. We're going to see that rain shower, that rain continue. Seattle, Portland, Spokane, Medford, and into Boise and Montana as well. We're going to continue to see that rain shower there. The rain will end in Southern California and drop across Mexico. We're going to be seeing that system go over the border into northern Mexico before eventually coming out across southern Texas. So we're going to be seeing that warmer air continuing through the Midwest. We're going to see that warmer air, very nice warm air in place here ahead of this storm system that's moving into the Rockies. Going to spread some snow there across Salt Lake City in the early morning hours. It will change the rain as it warms up later, and maybe Denver might pick up some rain later in the day or the evening hours. But we're going to be seeing those 70s through the Midwest, 60s in the Great Lakes, and 60s in the Northeast. 70s across the southeast coast, and 80s once again down across southern Florida. Tomorrow on Wednesday night, we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 40s across the Great Lakes in the Northeast and through the Appalachian Mountain Range. 60s for overnight lows, even in the central and northern plains. So into Minnesota, Wisconsin, we're going to be seeing 60s in the overnight and 50s through the 50s and 60s through the plain states down to the Gulf Coast, through the state of Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So a warm evening on tap about midweek or so, a pretty substantial warm up. We're going to see highs in the 70s on Thursday and Friday. So a very nice warm up moving in your direction later this week. Those temperatures will be in the 40s through portions of the Great Lakes and the Appalachian Mountain Range area, Cincinnati. We're going to see that temperature overnight of 41, and we're going to see those 40s in the Northeast. But in the Southeast, we're going to see those overnight lows in the 50s and those 60s down in Texas, in Florida. Far South Florida is where we can see an overnight low in Miami of 75. And we're going to also see those temperatures in the 60s in the overnight hours for your area on Texas, and in the 40s across the West Coast from Southern California. And we're going to see those temperatures falling into the 30s in the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies. Look at that temperature of 11 there in Montana. So we get an overnight low of well below freezing of Atlanta of 11, and then we get a 28 in Billings. So you see that very cold weather starting to move in across the Northern Rockies and the high plains of Montana and Wyoming. So that is a look at your Halloween forecast, a look at some upcoming weather events, some severe weather, and the snowstorm, and a look at the first half of your work week. My name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching me today, guys. Leave your likes, comments. Feel free to share the channel with your friends. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. And also check out my YouTube channel. The link will be in the video description, and it's in my channel link as well. Thanks for watching. See you guys all in your later in the week as we do our midweek forecast. Thank you for following this special forecast that happened to be off today. So I thought I'll make a forecast for you guys. All right. Thank you. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.